with Jeff Winget, who is the first recipient of our Spirit of Rowlett Award. I am so excited that you are our first recipient, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us. We wanted to make sure that we had a little bit of time to talk about everything that you have done for our city and why you are our first recipient of our Spirit of Rowlett Award.
Well, first, just let me say that I am so humbled and honored to have been chosen. I know there's a lot of great people here in the city, and it's a real treat to be selected for this award. My wife and I have called Rowlett our home for 3 years now. We first moved here from Arlington. Basically moved because we wanted to get closer to family. In doing so, we've found a great school, our elementary school that our kids attend, and we've made a lot of good friends out here, and it's just been a real treat to be here in Rowlett.
Well, I had no idea you've only been here 3 years because you've made quite an impact in those short 3 years, so we really appreciate that. So you also have received some recent recognition in the Lakeshore Times, so that was kind of cool.
Definitely. It was definitely a real fun thing for me to be called out like that. I appreciate the editor over there sending me an email and asking me the questions that she asked me, and it was just really neat to highlight some of the things that I've done and ways for others to get involved, because I think it's important that each of us have a voice in what's going on around us in our community.
And I liked that your picture of your entire family was in that article. That was nice.
Well, thank you.
So what spurred your interest in city government? I know that you ran for city council last summer.
Well, when we moved to Rowlett, one of my goals was to be involved in some way in three different aspects. And one is with my church, the second is with the city in some capacity, and the third was in my kids' school. In running for council, I made a conscious decision that I had a vision that I wanted to help the city develop into. And through that process, I made a lot of great friends. It was a very exciting time for me. It was definitely the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. And it was great in that I grew so much through that process. I learned so much in how the city functions, how the city works, and it was just wonderful to be a part of that experience.
I really enjoy, you do a lot of social media. You were nominated by several residents, and that's great. And I know you're very active in social media, and you have a very good way of distilling the volumes of information we put out, because I think we are a very transparent city, but distilling it and making it succinct and relevant to the people that follow you. So we appreciate that. And how do you how much time do you spend on this, and why do you do this?
Well, actually, I don't spend as much time as I did previously. I try to find certain things that I think are important, perhaps contentious, that I think deserve attention, and I try to focus on those, answer questions. In particular, the most recent bond election that we had, there were some questions that people had about different aspects of each of those topics, and I tried to just give the most accurate information that I could find from the city's website, from information that's publicly accessible, and again, like you said, just kind of distill that down into some key points that make sense, and just put that information out there for people to see.
So you are involved in the city on the Arts and Humanities Commission, and you are actually the chair of the Arts and Humanities Commission. So how long have you been on that commission? And talk to us a little bit about what that commission is doing and what you're doing in the chair position.
Well, I'm serving my third term on the commission, and when I first joined, it was a flurry of activity. I stepped into something that I really had no idea what was going on, and it was an exciting experience because I just didn't know what to expect going into that. Right now we're working on different grants and contests that we do on an annual basis. We have a photography contest that's happening right now, actually. We also have a writing contest that we have dubbed Summer Scribes that's going on. You can find those on the city's website. We definitely encourage all of our writers and photographers to enter. There is prize money available. The writing contest is youth and adult, so we're looking for basically anyone that has a passion for those arts to come out and be a part of that.
And you recently did the Rowlett Sings contest for the first time. That was really, really fun. I really enjoyed that. We had some really good talent in that contest. So you're adding to what we've done in the past year, so that's great.
Definitely, and I really have to give a shout out to Gary Alexander, who was the chair of the Rowlett Sings contest. He put in many, many hours of work, more than I could possibly calculate. And the amount of effort that he put into that and passion that he had for that particular contest has spanned many years, and it was really great to be a part of that experience. And to the whole commission, we put put in a lot of time, specifically on the day of that contest. I think everyone was there. We were all participating. We all had a role in making that a success.
So for anyone that might be interested in getting further involved in their city government or city activities, what advice would you have for people?
Well, definitely check the city's website. The Boards and Commissions Handbook is on there. It talks about all the different things that are required of you as a volunteer, but it also shows all the different ways that you can be a part of the city. And there are so many different opportunities from the Golf Advisory Board to the Animal Shelter Advisory Board, Arts and Humanities, Planning and Zoning. There's so many different opportunities for you to be involved in the city. There's really no reason that you shouldn't if you have a passion for Rowlett. If you love your city and you want to be a part of what's going on, you can definitely find a lot of information there.
And so speaking of lots of different opportunities to get involved, you are also on our Strategic Steering Committee. So if you could tell us a little bit about that and what's going on in that area.
Yeah, the Strategic Plan Steering Committee is basically a group of Rowlett citizens that we've put together to kind of give direction for Rowlett for the future, for potentially the next 5 or so years. The steering committee itself basically is an operational guidepost, if you will, for how the staff and the staff in the city here should direct things going forward. There's also the Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee, which is a different group of citizens, and their responsibility is primarily to lay out a plan for the whole city in general.
A land use plan.
Right, a land use plan. And so those plans are being run at the same time to save on resources, to kind of combine some of our talent that we have, and we're making a ton of progress. Right now we're in about month 4 or 5 of this process. For us on the Strategic Plan Steering Committee, it's about a 9-month process. So we've made a ton of progress so far. We have a few months left, and we should be looking to roll this out potentially in August or September.
And the last time we did a strategic plan for the city, I believe, was 2005.
That's right.
So we are way past due doing a
Definitely.
new strategic plan. The city has a much different face today than it did in 2005.
Right, and not just the city, but the whole Metroplex in general. We're growing at such a fast pace. I think it's important that we get ahead of some of these things that are happening to us and around us.
And we did a lot of community engagement that the committee steered us through the process for both the strategic plan and the comprehensive plan updates. We've involved the whole community in input in regards to these 2 updates. Is that correct?
That is correct. We've had outreach through social media. We've had a website set up where you can take a survey. We've done display boards where you can write suggestions on a display board. We've had community engagement seminars where we've had them come out and take a survey and a poll. We've engaged specific citizens on their level, from seniors to homeowners associations, etc.
Right.
So, just to capture as much information as possible and really drill down into the needs and wants of the citizens of Rowlett.
Well, Jeff, really appreciate you coming so we could talk about all this. I can't think of a better person to get our first Spirit of Rowlett Award. Thank you for everything you are doing, have done, and will continue to do for our city.
Well, thank you, Mayor. It's an honor.